For children's time, for children who are at home watching, sometimes it's hard to know what's the right thing to do. How do you make a good decision, and how do you do the thing that helps others? I was at the toy store the other day, and I found this cube, and on the cube it has all kinds of answers to questions that you perhaps will ask. No, go for it, definitely not, possibly, yes. Imagine if you lived in a world where when you had to figure out what to do, you would just roll a die to find out. For example, say that you had to answer this question. There's one cookie left in the cookie jar, and your brothers or your sisters, they want it. You've already had some. Do you take that cookie for yourself? And what if the way to find out is to roll the die? Let's find out. What's the answer?
Go for it.
Go for it.
The answer is go for it. Something doesn't seem right about making a decision that way. Well, let's try a different question. Let's say that you find a wallet. It has money in it, and you know who it belongs to. Do you take the wallet and keep it for yourself? What would you do? Well, we have this cube to help us answer that question. Let's find out. The answer is yes. You do keep it. I don't know, kids. Something doesn't feel just right about this. Let's try another question. A package arrives, maybe from Amazon. It comes to your door, but you know that it belongs to your neighbor's house. It just got delivered to the wrong door. And you see that there's something in it that you really, really want. Maybe it's a nice, I don't know, maybe it's an Xbox, or I don't know, what would you have to have land on your porch for you to be torn for a moment? Maybe it's a brand new telescopic lens. Maybe it's a wonderful laser-guided table saw. Wouldn't that be great? So what do you do, kids? Do you keep it for yourself? Let's find out. What's the answer?
No.
Oh, the answer is no. Well, in that case, I think that we could all agree that no is the right answer. But the way that we got to the decision doesn't seem to be the best way. We're going to read a scripture passage this morning that has some advice. Jesus is telling people how it is that we should make decisions in the world. And Jesus says, if you love God with everything that you have, and you love your neighbor as yourself, then that's going to make God pleased with your decisions. And I think that loving your neighbor as yourself, if you do to your neighbor for each of these questions the way you would want to be treated, that's a much better way of doing the right thing than just doing it randomly. You may not own one of these, and that's okay, but you have a belief in your head and God's Spirit in your heart to let you know that God's love has you loving your neighbor and doing the right thing.